Hello World Travel Magazine, I'm Hammond, designer florist at the Dorchester, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the ultimate Christmas table arrangement. So today, to make the ultimate Christmas table arrangement, I have already started some of the preparations. So you can see here that I've got a block of Oasis that's in a single brick tray, and then I've added this really beautiful red pillar candle. It's just a standard candle, but what I've done is I've attached 3 little canes onto the candle using pot tape, which is readily available, and then we're going to insert that into the center of the Oasis. Now what this does, this secures the candle into the Oasis and just makes sure that the candle doesn't go anywhere and that it's safe and secure on your dining table. So I've used some really beautiful blue spruce here, which is one of my favourite things to use at Christmas, just because of the texture that it gives and the colour, but also the smell. For me, blue spruce is the smell of Christmas. I've cut it into small pieces and just inserted it, and you can see here the kind of shape that it is. So I'm just going to show you the small pieces. So what I've done when I've done that is I've got small pieces of blue spruce and I've just taken those needles off at the end so that it is easily inserted into the Oasis. And what I'm doing where the candle is, I'm just inserting some pieces there to hide the mechanics, as we call them. So I'm just going to insert a few more pieces, and then the fun starts with inserting the flowers and also all of our lovely Christmas decorations. So we've got our shape like that. So the first thing we're going to insert is all of the dried Christmas decorations. So here I have got some lovely gold pine cones, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Florist wire, which is this. So this is a 56 gauge wire, and I use this one because it's really easy to use, but it's still very strong. And then we're just going to wire the pine cones. So we're threading the wire through the little slats in the pine cones, and then we're just going to twist it together 3 times. And by doing that, you're creating a false stem that can easily be inserted into the Oasis. So this was one of the first jobs I ever had as a junior when I was a florist, was to wire thousands of pine cones every Christmas, and I still really enjoy it actually. So we're just wiring all of those. So for this arrangement I've got 8 pine cones, and I've decided that the colour scheme is going to be red and gold, which is really beautiful and classic for Christmas, but it can be anything. One of the really big trends this year is white and pale pink, or actually we're doing quite a lot of white and then a very pale green. And for me, the Christmas decorations is all about enhancing the decor rather than taking away from it. So especially at the Dorchester, we use lots of golds, lots of coppers, lots of oranges, because that suits the decor of our hotel. So now that I've wired all of these, and this is great for kids to do as well, going on country walks, collecting pine cones that they can then wire and put into the arrangements. So now that we've got this stem like this, we're just going to gently insert these into the arrangement, and we're going to use the bigger ones like this one in the center of the arrangement, and then the smaller ones to the end of the arrangement. If you can see here, this is a bit short, so what we're going to do, we'll just take another wire and we're just going to wrap it around, and we're just extending that stem. Oh, as you can see, so now it's a little bit longer and we can cut it to the desired length that we need. And this is going to be a double-sided arrangement, so now I'm going to turn the arrangement around and do exactly the same on the other side. Also need to make this one a little bit longer as well. Now by doing this first, you are creating the base for your arrangement, and also you're filling up a lot of the space already. So the more space you fill with things like this, the less flowers that you have to insert. So now that we've got all of those evenly spaced, what we're going to do is we are going to take some flowers. So this is a burgundy cymbidium, really beautiful at Christmas, comes in lots of different colours, perfect for Christmas, such as burgundy, green and white, but also pinks, yellows, oranges, basically most colours. The great thing about this is it's super long lasting, should last you 2 to 3 weeks, and is really easy to look after. As you can see, it's a really long stem. We're not going to insert that all at the same time, but what we're going to do, we're going to cut small pieces of the stem, and we're just going to, actually we can even just cut the heads off like this, and we're going to insert those into the arrangement like this. And again, we're putting them all the way through, and you can see how the deep red in the centre of the cymbidium is picking up the red in the candle, which is really nice. I quite like things to match, hence why I've chosen this. We're probably not going to use all of the cymbidiums, but what is really nice with this is that you can put them in small little vases, and then you can dot them along the Christmas table as well, and then you've got the colour going all the way down the table. So we're just going to put this one in here. The great thing with the cymbidiums as well is that they're really tactile, so that you don't have to be too gentle. So we're just going to put that in there. And then on the other side, I think we just need one more, which we're going to place in there. Sometimes you have to wiggle it in a little bit. So there we have our flowers inserted now. And also what we're going to put into this arrangement is the skimmia. I'm obsessed with skimmia. I put it in basically every arrangement we make at Christmas. If you haven't got skimmia, any berries or foliage from the garden, that's the other great thing about this arrangement. There are no rules. If you've got a really beautiful holly bush in the garden or an ivy bush, you can trim a few pieces of that off and easily place it into the arrangement. So you can see now, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to fill in the gaps in between the cymbidiums, cleaning the stem so that it's easy to insert into the oasis. In fact, I'm going to put this bit in here. Still keeping to the shape. My style of floristry is quite compact and quite formed. If you want it to have a more looser country feel, that's absolutely fine. Everybody has their own personal taste. And obviously it's still about working within the decor that you have. And again, this is really long lasting. I think that's one of the main things about Christmas arrangements. We want it to last for the whole festive season, but also we want it that you can make it a few days before Christmas and also enjoy it for the whole of the period. So we're just going to put a few more bits of the skimming, and you see where there's a gap like this, we're going to then just insert that piece of skimmia. Now this candle is a 40-hour candle. It's completely safe to light the candle, but when it gets to about there, I would extinguish the candle and change it for another one, which is also really simple. Scented candles can be a bit more challenging because they have more oil in them, and so they can be a bit more fluid when the candle melts. That's why I normally just choose a plain unscented candle in any colour that suits the colour scheme. Normally we would use cream, but today I was feeling quite festive, so I chose a red one. And as you can see, this arrangement has really quickly come together, but it is looking beautiful, but I think we can add a bit of sparkle because you can never have too much glitter at Christmas. So the next thing we're going to add is these baubles. Now these ones have already come ready on a wire, so they're really easy to use. And literally, just make sure that they're straight. You've got the stem like that. Now, you could just place these through the arrangement. Sometimes that can look a little bit messy. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to place these in groups of 3. It just gives a little bit more impact. Now, the only thing that I would say with this is I would keep these away from the candle. You don't want any accidents on Christmas Day when you're carving the turkey. So, we're just gonna cut this together. What you can also do, if you prefer not to put all 3 in individually, is that you can actually just twist them together and make them into one already, and then just insert that. There. So I've got 2 groups there. I've got a few more to go. For me, Christmas is all about the sparkle and the glitz. And if you can't do it at Christmas, then when can you? So, I also think these look a little bit like Dorothy's slippers from The Wizard of Oz. I don't know why I think of that. So, and we're just going to trim, don't be scared to trim them down as well, and we're just going to pop that in there. Now the great thing with these being on a wire is that you can manipulate them once they're in the arrangement. So I think we're just going to put a few more. So I'm going to turn the arrangement around again. And just trim the stems. And then, I know that I've done all of the others in 3s, but we've only got 4 left. So what we're going to do is now, for the very end of the arrangement, this bit, we're going to extend, and we're actually going to have them like this, just to finish it off. And just so that that sparkle is going all the way through the arrangement. And it will just finish it off really nicely. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other end. Just like this. Perfect. Now, just a few more pieces to add. Go down my work desk. So, one of the last things that we're going to put in is orange slices, which smell absolutely amazing. Really simple. You just take one of your wires again, and we're going to wire it in between the rind and the flesh part of the orange. So you're going to poke your wire through, so it's like that, pull the wire together and twist it 3 times. So, I quite like to insert them just like this, but also what you can do is you can open them out a little bit more. This is just going to add another smell, which is really beautiful, but also another texture. And you can either use dried oranges, dried apples are really beautiful as well, cinnamon sticks, anything you like really, but I really like the orange slices. Again, it's definitely that scent of Christmas. So, just a few more of these. And now it's really about filling in the gaps with the remaining decorations. There's a little gap there. I always twist everything together 3 times just so that it's nice and secure and so that it doesn't fall out. I think we just need 2 more little groups. So you can see I've got a little hole here, so there's 1 more, and then I've actually got another hole on exactly the same place on the other side. So 1 more. Just in there. And then lastly, we are going to take some Hypericum berries in burgundy, which are another of my Christmas favourites. because I just want to add that depth of colour into the arrangement. Now I'm going to take all of the leaves off. I just find it easier to work with them like that, and then you can see the beauty of the berries. Also, what happens is the leaves can dry out and not look so pretty, whereas the berries will just naturally dry and still look really beautiful. So I'm just going to add, I've got maybe 5 or 6 stems of those here. These are the short ones. You can also get really big ones that you can split up and use the smaller branches. So I'm just going to put that in there. And again, just take these parts out. If it's like this, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to cut it in half. So I'm going to use both pieces of the berry. So I'm going to use this little bit at the bottom here. And actually I'm going to put this piece in there as well, just to fill in that gap. And then just one more, which we're going to put over here. And just fill in that little gap. There. And there you have it. The arrangement's made. All we need to do is light the candle and set the table for dinner. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year, and we hope to see you in 2021. Merry Christmas!